What is up, everyone? It's Thomas with Real Broker here in St. Augustine, Florida, coming at you live every Wednesday at 8 p.m., going over the market stats. What's going on here? Sorry, it cut out there. That's going to be awkward on the replay. But either way, it looks like something cut out and it didn't connect. Maybe Instagram, unsure. But either way, coming at you live every Wednesday at 8 p.m., going to the market stats, news you know about, everything about buying, selling, or investing here in northeastern Florida. And we're also doing a Q&A. So like we do every single week, we're going to go over some market stats, talk about something in particular, kind of niche down into the market a little bit. And then we're going to go into the news stories. I always start at the top, kind of do like a national news story. Then I go to Florida, kind of do a state news story, and then go to a local news story. So any questions about anything that we cover here tonight, guys, let me know in the comments below, or of course you can reach out to me directly. I have a couple of stats I pulled for one of the videos I have coming up here. And I will pull them up just so you can take a look. So we're talking about St. Augustine Beach and St. Johns County median sale prices, right? We really wanted to know, like, okay, what does that look like? So what I did is I just pulled the data, and median sale price, this is only in St. Johns County. You can see it's down 4.5% year over year at 525. Sorry, I'm not sure if you guys can see my little diagram here, but essentially prices have kind of plateaued around this 500,000 number, and it has since 2022. It's been relatively flat. Hasn't gone up, hasn't gone down. It's kind of just seems like it's settling. You know, we've had bigger peaks and valleys, but it seems like it's settling around this 500,000 mark. So for us to be down year over year at 500,000, typically as we go into the fall, our market tends to fall, right? Prices tend to go down a little bit more. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see this number go down. That's very, very normal. It's where you see these peaks and valleys. But just this year, we didn't have any peaks, right? It was pretty flat this year, right? Where we saw peaks in previous years. We didn't see that this year. So be interesting to see how the fall goes. Might be a good idea to just wait a little bit and just see how the fall goes if you are thinking about buying today. So what I wanted to do is compare this. This is just St. Johns County as a whole. And then look at St. Augustine Beach. So this is St. Augustine Beach, which I don't know why this is like this. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. There we go. All right, I'll zoom in a little bit more. This is St. Augustine Beach. Median sale price $669,000, which is a huge difference compared to the $500,000 for St. Johns County. You're living on the beach, so you know it does come with a little bit of a tax, almost like a Toyota tax. But you can kind of see almost the same thing, except we see bigger swings in the median sale price here, right? So June of 2024 last year, median sale price was $550,000, and for the median sale price, median sale price in St. Johns County is $525,000. Right, so they weren't that different, but now we're seeing a huge spread, right? And what causes something like that, right? And I think this is where statistics get a little hairy, right? Because I could, as a realtor, I could just tell you like, hey guys, St. Augustine Beach is crushing. Look, up 20% year over year. And I can take that on a monthly basis, but last month we would have been down year over year, right? And then we would have been up year over year, then we would have been down. So like I could literally just parse together as many data points as I want just to prove a point, right? If I wanted you to buy a house in St. Augustine Beach, you'd be like, oh, well, did you know prices are up 20% since this time last year? That's not exactly accurate, right? That's not exactly the full picture. And I think that's what I try to do here is give you guys the full accurate picture. Really, it seems that it's bouncing around like the 600 mark, right? Like that's kind of where we saw 500, kind of the median sale price be like where it seems to be hanging out around. It seems like 600 because it's bouncing up and down in such wide ranges, almost $100,000 in some cases. But why that is, right, is because in St. Augustine Beach, you have it's in a way where you have homes that are millions of dollars, and then you have homes that are high fours, low fives, that really bring that number back down. So I imagine what happened in June, and I bet if I were to pull the data, we would see an extremely expensive property that sold there, right? So, and it also just depends, like, because this is the average. You know, the median is the middle, right? So the average is just the sum of all of them divided by how many properties sold. So what do you guys think? What do you think about the real estate market? How do you feel in your local area? You thinking about moving here? What has you thinking about moving here? Let me know in the comments below. We got one comment here from Robert. Let's pull it up here. Robert, any plans for parking? depends where you're asking, Robert. If you're talking about St. Augustine Beach specifically, I don't think they have any additional plans coming for parking. They did just open up and I think we're covering it here today, where Summer Haven, they essentially redid the seawall there, and I think they put some parking there, but it's pretty minor. In terms of downtown, they're planning on putting a parking garage over here in the West City area, so just on the west side of US 1. Haven't heard anything about that recently, though. They said it was all approved last year, all good to go. I live half a mile from there, and I've not seen any progress. It seems that, maybe a year or so ago, it did look like that they staked out, put some flags out and everything like that, but since then, nothing, right? It's been pretty dead. And I remember them saying that, I think it was 2028 is when they had plans to put the parking garage there. So that's the only parking that I'm aware of that's coming to the area. Strategic plan of that they want, I think, 5 in total parking garages at key positions throughout St. Augustine, so that they can shuttle people into town, opposed to people fighting for parking in downtown St. Augustine. As of right now, no updates on the parking garage here in West Augustine. No updates on any other parking here. But Robert, appreciate you. We're going to head on to the news stories, guys. So any other questions like Robert has, let me know in the comments below. We'll go ahead and we'll start checking out some of these news stories here. And this is one that we've talked about before, but trapped by high costs and buyer's market, South Florida condo owners are hurting. So it's no secret that Florida has had some insurance issues here, right? They also, in 2021, we had Surfside collapse where that whole condo building just fell and 100 people died. 2022, they put new regulation in legislation across the entire state saying, like, hey, if you're a building, if you're a condo building that's over 3 stories high, that's within X amount of distance to the ocean, then you're going to be required to have inspections. And on top of that, we're also going to require the condo to have the reserves fully funded. And that's really where the problem comes in. Now, aside from that, because most condos aren't fully funding their reserves for things that they need to have done, because it just property maintenance doesn't work like that, right? Like, you're not going to save money for your roof on your home that's not due for 15 years. Like, you're going to maybe you might start saving now, but you're not going to have 20,000 just, I'm going to save this for the roof in 15 years. That's just not a logical thing. But that's part of the legislation and the reaction to that legislation, right? So condo fees have gone up, and then we've also had an insurance issue, right? Hurricanes hit Florida back to back. It hits Florida all the time. It's part of living here. But because of that, insurance has gone up, and then that means that not necessarily condo homeowners insurance has gone up, but the building's master policy has gone up, right? Which, okay, so we have fees going up either in terms of an assessment to pay for the reserves, but we have fees going up because the insurance is going up, right? Aside from that, inflation and all that good stuff, doing anything just costs more money over the past couple of years. So condo owners in South Florida are really hurting. Our market up here in North Florida hasn't seen the same drastic swings that South Florida has, and that's because our insurance here is much cheaper. Our condos are probably newer, just basing on for the majority of our area here. But we haven't seen the same issues. The condo market's definitely slow, don't get me wrong, but just not the same than what we're seeing here in South Florida. So a lot of people are trapped in these condos. They can't sell them. At least they can't sell them for a profit or what they want to sell them for. And they're stuck paying a higher monthly fee than they were paying before. And a lot of the people in South Florida are retired and on fixed income. So this causes a big problem. And they've been talking about putting legislation forward to fix this issue. But I think last time I covered this was maybe in February or January. And they're supposed to have a special session in March. And I never heard anything about that anyway. So we'll see what happens with them, guys. We'll stay up to date on it. But any questions about buying a condo here in northeastern Florida, let me know. I'm letting my hair grow out. This is probably the longest my hair has ever been. So letting it grow out. It's coming in nicely, but I'm getting some wings on the side here. I wear hats a lot, so looking a little different. But it's funny when you look at yourself in a camera. Okay, let's see here. All right. Now we're going to talk about a local news story here, and this was it's funny. There was a county commissioner. I can't remember who it was. who voted for this project, and people were really upset that he did because he voted on slowing down the development. Like, that's why he got voted in. It's because he was trying to slow down the development here in St. Johns County. And this is probably one of the smallest developments that he approved. And he was like, listen, like, people are still moving here. We still got to build stuff, guys, but maybe we just need to be more careful about how we're building. He got drugged through the dirt for saying yes to this. But I agree with him. So plans advance for St. Johns County Tidal 210 Townhome Project. It's going to be, 297 townhomes off County Road 210, about 1/2 mile east of Interstate 95. So the county began reviewing the project's civil plans on the same day it received the application. This is where it's going to be. So you see I-95, you see County Road 210, so it's just back off of here. What's that neighborhood there? Oh my gosh, I just was in that neighborhood. I can't remember it. Some creek. But yeah, so that's moving forward. That's something that I think is going to be a good add to the area. Oh, here it goes. I was just talking about this. Commissioners Sarah Arnold, Christian Whitehurst, and Clay Murphy voting in favor. Clay Murphy was the guy who got dragged through the dirt, which unfortunately didn't make much sense. But new townhomes coming up by 210. In that area, if you live in the area, you know that area is already very congested. So is that the best place to put some townhomes? I don't know, especially right at that corner there. But it just seems like that northern part of St. Johns County is more or less Jacksonville at this point. Like, it's more of a urban sprawl than what it was, way different than what it was before. But it's definitely becoming very similar to, like, you get off an exit in Jacksonville and you get off an exit on 210. Very similar in look. So I wonder if that's going to keep moving south. I don't know. You guys live in the area. Do you know anything about it? Let me know in the comments below. And what are your thoughts? If you live in the area off 210, do you think it's already a mess? Do you think they should add more housing? I kind of go with no, but because there's plenty of other places in St. Johns County to build, but being that close to Duval County obviously opens it up in terms of, like, how many people can afford to live there, right? So either way, guys, we're going to go on to the next news story here. Any questions about it, let me know below. I didn't cover this news story last week, but someone did bring it up. But Marineland is up for sale, could be developed into residential, or maybe I did cover it, residential, retail, or hospitality space. So I think that would be really interesting if they were to turn this into almost like a resort. Because there's one other development that we talked about a couple weeks ago, which they're going to be building. What's the builder? It's a really high-end condo development going into Palm Coast. I just covered it 2 weeks ago. I can't remember what it is, but extreme luxury. Like the deposits for the penthouses were over $10 million out of the ground yet. But we have nothing like that in St. Johns. This is technically in Flagler County still, but this is on the border of St. Johns County. And I think that would be a really interesting property to be like a spa or a resort or something like that for St. John. Because really, direct beach access like that, and private beach access at that is really not a thing here in St. Augustine. So having like a resort style beach is really not an option. So that could be something that we could see here in the future. They're also talking about making it residential as well, retail. I don't see how retail space would make any sense down there. It's just not enough foot traffic or anything. I think you need something that is physically in that location that is drawing people there outside of retail stores. I don't think it makes good sense. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. What do you guys think should happen to that area down there in Marineland? Is it viable to even be Marineland anymore? I'm guessing not if they went bankrupt, right? It probably needs a whole bunch of money in renovations, especially with how the world views keeping animals caged for that long, that are supposed to swim miles and miles every single day. I don't think it's looking good for them. What do you guys think? What would be a value add to our coast for locals and people visiting alike? I want to say like a resort, and like a beach club almost. I think that might be cool. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. All right, we got a comment here. Let's check out JJ. Builders getting lazy on some new condo designs, especially at lower price point. Just row houses with too little parking and little landscaping. They have some deals, but not sure they'll age well. So Interested to figure out what neighborhood you're talking about there, JJ. Because if you're talking about like similar to a row home, I mean, there's definitely townhomes, and I mean, I guess it's a different form of ownership, but they're built like townhomes but called condos. See plenty of those. And I think the style you're thinking of, I could agree with what you're saying. Like, how are they going to age well? They're very packed in tightly. I think they're just trying to address affordable housing, right? We just don't have that in St. Johns County anymore. And now you can buy a townhome at Entrada for like Cordera for $230,000. Your payment with FHA loan is going to be around like $1,600 to $1,800. So that's a very reasonable entrance into first-time home ownership, right? And I think in our area, will it age well? Will it won't age well? Hard to say, because even to buy a $230,000 house, you have to have some type of income, right? And you can't be a slacker by any means. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but I could see where, especially because some of these condo units or townhome units, however you want to call it, they've changed how the fees go, right? So Cordera, perfect example. And it could make sense. It could not make sense, right? Let me know what you guys think. Cordera, their association fees are $75 a month, right? Which that takes care of all the grass outside and all that good stuff. But normally you'd be paying that fee, and that also covers your townhome's roof, also covers the townhome exterior, so that all you need to worry about is the envelope of the townhome. Well, in Cordera, that's not the case. That's why the fees are so low. They're really pretty much only taking care of landscaping and all that good stuff outside. So it's $75 a month, but then when it comes time to repaint, then everyone gets an assessment for the paint. Comes time to re-roof, everyone gets an assessment for the roof. So is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Normally, if an HOA were to, let's say that fee was $150 a month, and an HOA had to take care of that money. From my experience with HOAs is that they don't do very well with their money, right? It seems that they tend to piss it away. Most people that run HOAs have no experience in the real estate world, right? So they're just volunteers that got nothing better to do, right? So are they going to make better use of that money by just doing an assessment versus having it paid into your HOA dues going into reserves? I don't know, but this is a perfect example of like, okay, so let's say you have 6 people in a townhome and one person says, hey, I can't pay my assessment. Well, how does that roof get replaced? How does the siding get replaced if that one person can't pay the assessment, right? We'll find out. We shall find out. JJ, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Guys, any other comments, let me know. Stephanie T, I saw Governor DeSantis sign something last week that there will be no private beaches. I didn't hear about that. We don't have any of them here, not that I can think of. I mean, we state-owned. Like Anastasia State Park is almost like a private beach in a way, just by the way you have to access it. But I guess private beach isn't the right word to use. What I was talking about, Marineland, it'd be like, just because of its geographic location, there's really nothing else around there. It's not really too much residential around there at all. I think there's only 7 residents in total in Marineland. It would almost be like a private beach, like if you had a resort there. So I guess I used that a little loosely. But Stephanie, I appreciate you catching me. Thanks for the information, and I always appreciate your comments. Thank you so much. All right, guys, we got a couple more news stories here. Let me go through them. Any questions, any comments about what's going on here in St. Augustine, let me know, okay? All right, I don't know. This is a distributor that's been around here for the longest time, but I can't help but hit Michael Jackson. KeHe Distributors opened 530,000 square foot warehouse in St. Johns County. So this is I-95 right over here. This is State Road 207. So they are opening a 530,000 square foot warehouse there, which is going to be humongous. The ribbon cutting took place Thursday to celebrate the opening of the facility. The Illinois-based distributor of natural, organic, and specialty products moved steps away from its original building, but the new distribution center provides more than double the space. So if you see a big, ugly building off of 95, it's a warehouse that KeHe owns. They're going to be distributing things out of it, but probably a net positive for St. Johns County and maybe some natural organic food. I know we've been talking about this for a long time, talking about natural products. I don't even know if this is what they're delivering, But people want a Trader Joe's. People want what's the other one? I can't remember. It's not Sprouts. People wanted a Trader Joe's instead of a Sprouts, right? Like Sprouts got put out in 2010, and people were like, come on, like why can't we get a Trader Joe's? And that's what people want in St. Johns County. Like that's the only store I see people like can agree on. Like, yeah, we really need a Trader Joe's. And it's not that we don't have like natural health food stores. We have smaller ones, but people just like that. They like the brand. They like the setup of Trader Joe's and what you get there. They have a great product. So what do you guys think? We need a Trader Joe's? All right. We got one more news story here, guys. So let me throw it in. St. Johns County submits 1.27 budget proposal for fiscal year 2026. Budget includes $169 million for capital improvement plan, $25 million for emergency response services. That's interesting that they only outlined those two things of a $1.27 billion budget proposal in the title. But I haven't dove into this in terms of like what's all being proposed, but I really want to take a look into it. I'm probably going to put out a video, just give more information, but like that's the only thing they're talking about here in the article is like out of a $1.2 billion project, they talk about $200 million of it. So what the hell is $1 billion going towards in St. Johns County that they couldn't outline a little bit better? I don't know. Journalism these days is it's not the best. It's not the best, guys. News4Jax, don't come for me. I'm sorry. But either way, we got some questions here. Let me see if I can answer them quick. Ryan V. I bought property that backs up to a marsh a few years ago and haven't built on it. Not flood zone X, hoping homeowners insurance isn't insane by the time I build in the next year. Not flood zone X. Yeah, where is it? Is it in St. Augustine? I mean, if you own the property straight out, you don't have to pay for insurance. You can just self-insure, right? So, and when you build, just build it up high, build it a couple feet up. Probably, depending where you are, figure out your elevation and then talk to a local builder and be like, hey, I'm not trying to worry about this, right? And it's going to cost you more money. Your foundation could cost you $200,000. So it just depends on how much money you got in the bank, Ryan. I see it. Is that I can't tell what sports car that is. Looks like you got a sports car. So I don't know. Is that a Supra? It's hard to tell in the little icon I got here, but a Supra might have to be sold just to be able to afford that foundation. But let's see here. We got Stephanie T. We definitely need a Trader Joe's. Yeah, Trader Joe's would be good in the area. I feel like our area is pretty well complete. I was just talking to someone earlier or yesterday. They're moving down from the Green Bay area, and the one thing I noticed, big hole, is in the northwestern part of St. Johns County, there's really no gyms, like, at all. Like, no privately owned gyms. Obviously, they have the amenity center gyms, but just like any hotel gym or regular amenity center, like, the options are limited. It's not exact. Like, if you're into fitness, if you go to the gym every day, the amenity center gym is probably not cutting it for you, for the most part. I know a lot of people maybe fight me on that. But there is no type of gym in the northwestern part of St. Johns County that would be attractive to go to, right? Like here in St. Augustine, we have a handful of gyms just around the corner, like whether it be a Planet Fitness or it's Choose Fitness, formerly known as Bailey's, or it's Amp Hardcore, or it's Better Body Spa, or it's Anastasia Fitness. Like, we have a couple different options that you can go to. They don't have anything up there, really. I mean, there might be an Anytime Fitness, but like even that. So big hole, in my opinion. But, all right, we got Ryan V commenting back again. Right by the North Florida airport. And, Ryan, you probably got a great piece of property over there. They're talking about doing some cool things with the North. I think they want to bring the North Florida airport into relevancy in today's world. I think they want to start doing commercial flights out of it for the future. So just being right over that area, you said right by the North. Okay, so I wonder, are you north or south of it? Not that it's going to make a huge difference, but there's just really north or south of it, there's great communities right by it. So probably a good pickup with marsh views. It's a great little location, and I think being right by that airport is going to be a good thing for the future for you, for sure. So congratulations on that, Ryan. Well, guys, looks like all the comments we got. I appreciate you guys being here. We got 10 people here, so if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. I will answer everything live, but if you're typing and I sign off, I'll come back and answer the comments as soon as I can. Let's see. We got JJ back. Yes, no gyms, not even Planet Fitness. Get the franchise. Hope you're enjoying dad life. JJ, appreciate that, man. It's been pretty sweet. I can't lie. Baby's just turned 4 months, so it's been really cool. She's growing so fast. It's wild to see, honestly. She's learning stuff every day. And yes, it's my first baby, so it's a completely new experience for me. But yeah, no gyms, not even a Planet Fitness. If you go to the gym, Planet Fitness is like, okay, if I have to go to the gym and there's a Planet Fitness around, I'll go to Planet Fitness, right? That's like the very bottom of the barrel of like, okay, we got a good gym in the area, right? So it's like not even a Planet Fitness. Like that area too, just if I were to take a wild swing, I'd say the average household income is probably north of $150,000 a year. Most of the people that live in that area, they're more than likely working from home, probably making, I would say maybe the average household there is probably around 200. So for them to not have an amazing gym out there is crazy, because the luxury gym space, I mean, they could easily put a luxury gym out there and it would crush. I'm positive of that. So, but yeah, appreciate you, JJ. All right, guys, that is it. Stephanie, thank you so much. It's been really cool. She's the sweetest little baby. She smiles all the time. I love it. So cool. Didn't like losing sleep at night, but hey, you know, that's part of the package, right? So either way, guys, appreciate. I tried to record a video today, guys. I tried for like 2 hours, and for whatever reason, I have mush mouth today. I could not get my point across, and I always try to make the videos as good as possible. This is obviously free form and live. I did better on this than I did on the video that I had planned and like I've been thinking about for a while. I just couldn't get it right, and I almost threw this computer and everything just out the window. I was so over it, but I was just stuttering all over my words. I just couldn't put a good sentence together. You know, it was just very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. But either way, guys, appreciate you being here. I almost did it again. I almost said appreciate you being here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. going over the market stats, the news you know about, everything about buying, selling, or investing here in northeastern Florida. And we're doing the Q&A. So any questions as you're watching it right now or you're watching the replay, let them in the comments below. Come back and answer them as soon as I can. Here every Wednesday at 8. If you are looking to buy, sell, or invest here in northeastern Florida, reach out to me directly. I'm very low pressure, low pressure, no pressure when it comes down to sales. I'm here to give you information and be a resource to you, right? So, talk to you guys next week. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. I'll see you.